to survive this, you must realize that fear is not real. It is a product of thoughts you create. Now, do not misunderstand me. Danger is very real. But fear is a choice.
All right, Mr. Julian, Henny Boy number one. Again, you are dazzling me with some of the greatness that you bring to the show every week. How to be fearless, chasing your dreams.
Yes.
Dude, unpack this for me a little bit, and then we'll break it out even further.
Okay.
And please introduce.
Yeah, so how to be a fearless man when chasing your dreams. And, you know, and right now, as of currently unaired episodes, like the first episode, like we talked about The Rock and how he said that the current generation right now is a little bit of a snowflake generation. So with this episode and maybe a few more episodes down the line, I want to rewire men's brains to be, you know, fearless again. Because a man has to be fearless. You know, to be a man, you have to go out into the environment, into the world, and like you have to display dominance. And there's so much courage that you have to have.
Oh yeah,
just being a man. You know, like I want to drum up like the drums of war and to get men to feel that man up in them again. You know, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do with this episode, but we're gonna specifically carve out chasing your dreams.
It's a phenomenal idea. And I think a lot of times we take this for granted. A lot of people don't realize that, you know, a woman is a woman and a man is a man. And there's no reason against that at all. And there's nothing wrong about it. And everybody should be strong in their own way. But sometimes men need to understand that, you know, we are men for a reason. We are foragers. We're on the road. We do these things for our women, our children, whatever it might be. And it's important. If you don't follow these rules, you know, the evolutionary chain will actually falter and get weaker as time goes on.
That's facts.
No doubt about
church.
it.
That's church. So the first thing when chasing your dreams and being a fearless man is to fully see your vision. So whatever you're chasing in life, whatever you want to do, you need to fully see it. However grand it is, however, you know, tremendous it is, however complex, you need to fully visualize it in your mind's eye. I believe that's important. I read Total Recall by Arnold Schwarzenegger, Michael Jordan, Kobe, the late great Kobe Bryant, you know, like a lot of tremendous athletes, a lot of tremendous, you know, figures in history, they all use visualization. They all seen exactly what they wanted, crystal clear, as sharp as they can make it inside their mind, and then they sought out to create this
no
vision.
doubt about it. And you can't be deluded either. A lot of these people have strong personalities,
Yes.
and their vision is not diluted. It's strong. It's like 125% over, you know.
It's HD.
It's off the charts. You can't quantify
Beautiful.
exactly what's going on.
Gorgeous.
And you got to follow your dreams. And if you're a strong, all males should be pretty strong and head straight and very, very forward thinking, because
And it's hard to be like that, you know, living in the world that we living in, you know, and masculinity tends to get the dragnet of being toxic thrown over it, but masculinity is a good thing. Just to, you know, in the same way femininity is a good thing.
Yeah. There's a reason for them. Obviously, you don't want either of those two type of identities to become too over the
Diluted,
top.
yeah.
They don't want to. You don't want to dilute them, and you don't want them too strong. There's a give and a take. You need to exude your masculinity, but you need to also work with it within the structure of the environment you're in. So you know when you need to back off. But if you've got a forward-thinking person, if you're the leader of a tribe,
Yes.
and you are, if you're a father or a family man, you are the leader of your tribe.
alpha.
If you are not the alpha male, the lineage will die off. There won't be generations to follow.
Yeah, they need that vision that you have. So the second thing I want to talk about is you want to reverse engineer success from where you want to be to where you are now. As Tony Robbins says, success leaves footprints. You want to follow those footprints, but you want to say, okay, I want to be where Tony Robbins is, a great life coach. What's one step behind where he was at to get to where he was at? And then go one step, you know, behind that. Because it's all there. There's a digital paper trail already left of the things that he had to do. He's had interviews, maybe you have to compile all the interviews, watch them on YouTube, watch them on SoundCloud, watch them wherever, listen to and absorb, okay, this is where he went to, this is all the things he had to do to get to the point where he's at now. But you want to reverse engineer, because sometimes it's not easy for you to go from where you are and see the next level. But if you're backpedaling levels, you're saying, okay, Tony was here. But before Tony was like a life coach, he mentored under a life coach. So that's the second thing. And you keep backtracking. It's just an easier path to follow.
Yeah, so you want to be able to see exactly where it's going to lead, but you don't actually jump ahead of the person. No. You have to sort of learn how to crawl before you can run.
Absolutely.
That's what you're saying. And you can actually be stronger and utilize those facts to your advantage as you move along.
Because you need to have the journey.
Yeah, without a journey, you're lost.
Yeah, you definitely need the journey. But the easiest, if you don't have a map already laid out, parameters already set for where you need to go, reverse engineering to me is the fastest path. We all want things quick. We all want to get to where we have to go as quickly as possible. We don't want to shortcut anything, but we all want to go as fast as possible. Reverse engineering to me has always been like a great tool to get where I want to go faster, because like I said, success leaves those footprints.
I mean, I take into consideration all the theories that you're talking about, and as a businessman, as an entrepreneur, and a very positive type of person, I actually engineer all type of things that I deal with. Whenever I try to find something that I want to actually do well with in life, I re-engineer what people have done. But what I try to do, which is actually a nice little knack, and a lot of people should consider this, like a lot of people have a lot of money that allows them to be able to re-engineer things in their own professional way. But if you could do it on your own and still re-engineer your thoughts, you'll end up being stronger in the long run because you weren't spoiled by money and greed to get to that point.
Absolutely.
And you can do that as a hardworking person. You do it all the time. Yeah. I do it all the time.
We talked about that offline a lot. And, and going back to Tony, who's not a personal mentor, but a great mentor of mine.
One of the greatest.
It's not about resources. It's about being resourceful.
Correct.
Take what you have and build to where you need to go. Build that bridge with what you have. Don't cry about not having the resources. I can't build a bridge to get to the next level. Take what you have and build that bridge, because you always have enough.
And those resources are always there too.
Yeah.
So it's not like you need to buy a resource or whatever it might be. Use your ingenuity to actually extract the energy from that.
Capital, everything that you can draw in to go to the next level.
Yeah, I mean, a person with common sense and enough rationale in his being can do almost anything they want. There's no need to have to worry about being rich to be able to extract it.
True.
Like people such as us, we're hardworking people from a nice level of life, and we actually work real hard with what we're given, and it makes us better with our research and our understandings. It's more of a perfect way of looking at it.
Yeah, facts. Now the third thing I want to talk about, have an intimate understanding of everything that can go wrong.
Yeah, well, you have to automatically assume you're going to have a few things that are going to go wrong automatically. Don't let that collapse you or cause a capitulation. Yeah,
and I always think, like, if I have a vision in my mind of what can go wrong and then it happens, not only have I, brainstormed or, free associated some ways to, circumvent or get past this, I'm at least prepared for it. So if it's a punch that I got to take, I at least can brace up and be like, I know this can go wrong, so if it goes wrong, it's not going to be as bad as something that blindsides you at 4 a.m. in the middle of the night. Like, oh, I didn't even know we had to think about this. I didn't even know we need this license or permit. So I always try to visualize everything that can go wrong.
Yeah, because following up to that, if you actually consider a slight percentage of failure within your task of getting to a higher level,
which is inevitable.
Yeah, because you're not going to have a 100% success ratio. And if you say fail 3 times in the span of 10, but if you do well in the 6 or 7, you're going to still succeed.
You get that boost of enthusiasm. So the dopamine's going to start releasing more, chemical, and be like, oh shit, keep going.
Yeah.
We got it. We're ahead of schedule. I like that. That's good.
And actually, also, like, if let's say you have like 2 failures and 1 success, and then 3 more failures and 2 more successes, you still have to deal with the ratio of the total end of where you're going, which is in the power of 10, let's say, right?
Yeah.
So you might take 2 sucker punches on the first 2 opportunities, but you don't fail. So if you believe in your dream, you got to stick with it. And if you do take those 2 punches, you are going to inevitably be better after you get through the punches.
It's that fortitude. It's crucial.
Yeah, because you can't go with success totally in the beginning without opportunity, not an opportunity. You can't succeed in a positive way if you don't have at least one little chop on the chin.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's what life's all about.
Yes, sir. So the fourth thing I want to talk about is be willing to sacrifice time, relationships, and fun time. So time in general, the little mundane minutia of your life, little things that you don't consider fun, but you don't know how much you miss them until they're gone. You know, we're like, oh, I get to, I pick up the grandkids, from daycare every Tuesday and Wednesday. Well, I'm working on this, so I can't do it. You missed that. Factor that in. Maybe you and a wife like to bowl. You bowl every Saturday and Friday. Well, now you can't because you got to, dedicate time to this business you're trying to get off the ground. Maybe there's people that you see doing different things, or maybe there's just people that you see, like you have Winnie and Sylvester over like every, Tuesday night, for drinks and to talk about the neighbors. Now you don't have that quality time. These are all the sacrifices that are going to be the most important and most influential, and you want to plan out early if you can take these losses. Or everything can topple like fucking Jenga, because you're like, okay, I got to see my friends again. Well, you just started a business. You got people ready to contract, ready to license, people ready to work, and you can't halt that or stop that because, you haven't feeling. So you need to work these things out, in my opinion, early on.
Well, if you have a good companion, your wife or your girlfriend, whatever it might be, and you both can share the responsibilities of dealing with some of the things you talked about, like grandchildren, whatever it might be in life in general, and some of the things you have to sacrifice to be successful. If your spouse or whoever it might be, your significant other, can pick up the slack that you may have fallen behind on while you're trying to keep the other end up, because it's still important to keep this end up here that you're working on, which is maybe your business or your life or the breadwinning aspect of a relationship. If your partnership can keep the other side going, at the end you still are ahead of 500.
Yeah.
The percentage of 500.
Yeah.
So it's tough to be a solo person to do all this. You got to have an infrastructure of a relationship, a girlfriend, a wife, or whatever it might be, or good family.
And here's the thing. To start these conversations may be a little bit tough, but as a man and to be a fearless man, you have to go steadfast into these conversations.
You do. You have to be strong, but you have to accept that. And I still think that overall the bottom line is, you just got to hope that you can pull it together, and your family and your whoever else you're working with, your close friends, understand the sacrifices you're making for the better, the aspect of the positiveness of at the end of the trail.
Absolutely. So the fifth thing I want to talk about is to be stoic about the amount of dedication that you need to stay on task and complete.
Well,
so things are not always going to be roses.
Yeah,
sometimes
sure.
you're going to be in the black, and sometimes you're going to lose money. As a businessman, you know this way better than me.
Oh, there's ups and downs all the time.
But you have to stay dedicated. And there's a certain amount of emotional, physical, and psychological energy that you're going to have to parse over to that, And not only to being able to do these things, but also the recovery and the mental self-care that you're going to need when something doesn't go right.
Well, I run into obstacles like this all the time. I run into roadblocks of negativity, and the human mind creates this type of negativity. And since I run, obviously I run a shop, and I have to deal with the management aspects and all the responsibilities.
Yes, sir.
There are times when they can become extremely overwhelming. But the bottom line is, it could be a lot worse if I was in a different situation. So if you're going to be, I've accepted my place on earth. And that would be the same place would be with my life, my family, and all my connections and all my constituents and all that kind of thing. I have to suffer some type of pain along the way, but the overall thing is I'm still going to come out positive in the end.
And that's that strength. Is there any way that you remember that you cultivated that stoicism, that steadfast, I'm going to just keep going in the face of adversity, that Churchillism?
Well, Churchillism is a fantastic way of putting it. That's a great connection to connect it to the great Winston Churchill. You have to suck it up. You have to be able to take the blows. You got to take a little pain along the way. You have to be able to cope with the stress of life. But, this is what it's all about. The way we've been designed as humans, it's not like we can become successful without some kind of pain and anguish. It comes with the territory.
It makes us stronger.
It makes you does make you stronger.
Scabs on the brain, scabs on the soul.
Scabs on the soul. You come up with the greatest quotes of all time, and it just blows me away. You cannot be a successful person if you don't have some of the anguish that comes along with the game. But you cannot let that destroy you or bring you down. You got to find ways to make you stronger on the second and third day.
Okay.
The problem is sometimes the 2 days that you have to deal with the stress before you get to the positive day, which is the third day, let's say, you got to be able to muscle through those days when you're a little negative and you feel a little off your game and you feel a little agita in your stomach. You got to suck it up. You got to be a man.
Hell yeah. The last thing is simply do the fucking work. Like, you just gotta do the work. Whatever it is, you don't like it, you have to eat crow, you're coming from the mud, you have to build up your intestinal fortitude and just do the work.
No. Don't complain, and you cannot tell me you've tried.
That's right.
Brother, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the weigh-in.
Have a good one.
This is my lady. When back when we did the Experience World's Greatest Teacher episode, I talked about music saving my life. This was the music that saved my life. When I was a young man coming up, rough and tumble, and trying to figure things out, it was songs like Tar Baby, which made me feel as a black man that I can go out into the world and somebody appreciated people that look like me. I Will Be Your Friend. Songs like Your Love Is King. Like, she taught me how to be a romantic man. Like, she taught me how to enjoy life, how to have fun. Like, an amazing collection of music, just amazing.
With the right artist, music can do that, and it does it for a lot of people. And I'm glad you find her to be so special for you, because obviously it's very good music, and it's just so enlightening to hear it too.
Yeah,
it makes you feel good.
Yeah, and if you ever she has a very soulful sound. She was influenced by a lot of the soul records from the 1960s. So like a lot of she used to, I forget the name of the radio station, but she used to listen to this one radio station, and all they played at the time was soul music.